What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 77. We're starting today's stuff with a look at our first three fixtures in the Premier League. The Blades away at Bramall Lane, our opening game, then Spurs at home in the London Derby, and then Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa away at Villa Park. So coming on the back of the last episode where we of course signed our new centre-half Bastoni to replace De Vrij. Then we sold Romelu Lukaku to Inter Milan back at the San Siro for £105 million and won the Community Shield over Man City by 3-1. I said at the very end of the episode, how are we going to improve this team now? 140 mil. What positions do we need to strengthen? Do we need to fill out the squad? Do we need to bring in some more depth? Or do we look for a new striker to replace Lukaku, who's just gone to Inter? Well, I decided to look at Inter's team just out of curiosity, because they wanted Tammy Abraham as well, and instead they got Lukaku. So clearly they were in a market for a striker, and I thought, they must have no strikers there. Well, how wrong I was. They've got the youngster, Sebastiano Esposito, Martinez, who's still there, but his contract will come at the end of the year. Eddie Salcedo does well. Legrand, who is a young teenage Belgian forward, new-gen / regen. Our former striker, Timo Werner. And I was thinking, why have they got all these strikers? Why were they so desperate to buy either Abraham or in the end Lukaku off me when they've got all these strikers here? There's too many strikers at Inter Milan, and we've seen this before where an AI club signs an abundance of players in one position for no reason, really. Like, they're just absolutely stacked in no reason, and Inter have got an abundance of forwards. Martinez, Werner, the youngsters Esposito and Salcedo, that young Belgian forward as well. And Lautaro Martinez, the Argentine as well. But with his deal up come the end of the year, I thought they've just signed Lukaku. Lautaro Martinez, what's his long-term future at the San Siro? Does he have one? Well, if his contract come the end of the year, and they've just signed Lukaku, Inter are clearly looking for a replacement for the Argentine. They feel like he's probably going to go. And I said, yeah, he's going to go. He's going to go to Stamford Bridge. So I met with the Inter Milan representatives. I said, how much do you want? His deal's not come the end of the year. I can get him on a cut price deal, because otherwise, you know he's going to leave on a free transfer at the end of the season. I said, I'll give you 85 mil. It's a little bit under the valuation. Inter Milan said yes. They didn't want to lose him on a free transfer. And Lautaro Martinez proves to be what could be the bargain of the window. Is in on a 5-year, £220,000 a week deal to replace Romelu Lukaku. Yep, Lukaku back at the San Siro, Martinez at Stamford Bridge, and at 27 years old, in the prime of his career, 89 rated, 4-star, high medium work rates, and really just an all-rounder. Physically superb, despite the fact he's not the tallest. He's pretty pacey as well. He can dribble really nicely too, got great ball control, but as a finisher, as a natural finisher, this guy knows where the back of the net is, no doubt about that. So Lautaro Martinez is in. The question is, do I replace Abraham with Lautaro? Both 27 years old. I don't know. I really don't. It's such a tough decision because Martinez seems just a slight notch better than Tammy, and more of an all-round forward, if you will, which is pretty crucial in my team with the inside forwards we've got as well. But Tammy at 6'3" is superb in the air, a good target man to hold up and build players in at times, if you will. Don't forget last season, he was one of the top assist makers in the Premier League as well. I don't know who to start, I really don't, and it's so funny because I didn't plan to do any of this, you know, it's so funny as I reject this loan offer for Colwill here. I think I might need to keep him for squad depth this year. As the season ticket money comes in, along with the signing of Martinez, our budget is now down to 60.5 mil, so there's still a little bit of money to work with here, and possibly bring in some more players to fill out the squad, and fill out the reserves as well. But it's so funny, I had no plans to do this. I had no plans to sell Lukaku and buy a new striker to replace him. In the end, I've done it, and I've done it pretty well, let's be honest here. I don't mean to blow smoke up my own you-know-what, but even so, we sold Lukaku for 105 mil at 32 years old, 88 rated, and we signed Martinez for 85 mil 89 rated, 27 years old. You got to say, that's the fleece of the century there on Inter Milan, and I'm buzzing about how we've pulled that off as well. But even so, Martinez or Abraham, I really don't know. I'll have to see. I think I'll start Martinez to begin with, because signing a striker for 85 mil and then putting him on the bench seems a little bit silly. But even so, I think I'll probably rotate the two this season, because I can't change my formation. The 5-2-3 works really well, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Even so, I had a massive bid for Mason Mount from Real Madrid, 151 mil from the Galacticos. They want to make him their next Galactico, but I said no, absolutely no way. Out of the academy, Mason Mount is staying right here. I'd say he's probably our vice captain now this season, so Mason Mount is staying here. And you might have noticed as well, I just showed you it quite briefly, I've changed Mount's position from attacking mid to centre mid. I actually started doing that last season off camera, and it finally got completed now, right before the first game of the Premier League season. You might wonder why I've done that, because Declan Rice, as we know, is the holding mid in this team. Mount has more freedom to go forward and attack. The reason I've done it is quite simple. But last year, we did concede quite a lot of goals, and whilst we do have a back five, of course, and Declan Rice is going to be the protector like Kante was last season, Mount at times was so far at the pitch, you know, we just had like a gap on the right-hand side of our midfield. We've got two midfielders, you know, we're getting overrun in midfield, as our assistant manager would say in Football Manager, and that's because Mason Mount is basically playing as a second striker. So what I decided to do is convert him back to CM, and this way he can provide a little bit more protection alongside Declan Rice in the back five, because last season defense was not something he even considered. So if we are going to defend a little bit better this season, I think that might help as well. So Mount changes from a CAM to a CM, and he's now going to drop a little bit deeper. But of course, because Declan Rice in his team is the anchor man, he'll still have more than enough freedom to go and attack and provide assists and goals, just like he did all of last season as well. Anyway, first game of the season, heading into this one, Sheffield United away, Bramall Lane. I was thinking, okay, alright, last season we had them in our first game at the Bridge. It was a fritter of a game. We beat them, I think it was 4-2 or 5-3. We won by 2, but it was a really thrilling goal glut of a game. So we know these guys can score. And heading into the new season, defending our Premier League title, 10 minutes in, well, these guys can score. El Bilal makes it 1-0, and Sheffield United lead at Bramall Lane 10 minutes in. I was thinking, this is a disastrous start. We spent big on Bastoni, we spent big on Rice, we spent big on Martinez. They're all in the first 11, and I'm sitting there thinking, why did I change things? We won a domestic double with our squad last year. We might as well kept it together. Well, right from kickoff, I was not prepared to lose on the opening day. And from the kickoff, we attack down the right. Kai rolls it across, and who's there to turn in from close range? Captain America. Christian Pulisic levels it, and last season when Kai went down with that 2-month injury, Pulisic really upped his game and took the reins. Christian Pulisic is so good, and it's why Callum Hudson-Odoi, despite his superb goal to game ratio, is still an impact sub. It's 1-1, and oh my goodness, 27 minutes in, I should have got him his first goal. I couldn't wait to get him a chance. I felt for sure he'd only need one to take it, but Martinez fires wide from close range for a chance to put us in front. Spurs his first opportunity as a Chelsea striker, but he's not going to miss twice. Yeah, Mason Mount driving the ball forward. He might be sitting a little bit deeper, but he'll still be our main threat through the middle in the midfield. Rolls it through to Lautaro, and this guy's not going to miss two easy one-on-ones. Yep, smacks it in, top bins, and there it is, first goal in a Chelsea shirt for our new number 9. £85 million we spent for Inter Milan. That might prove to be the bargain of, well, if not the save, then our stint here at Chelsea. Because Tammy Abraham on the bench watches Martinez bag his first as a Chelsea striker. And right from kickoff, the Blades give it away. Reece James runs down the right. It's a pinpoint cross. And who's there at the back stick to volley it home first time? It's that man. Once again, the American Christian Pulisic volleys it home. And this is why for Callum Hudson-Odoi, I talked about it, man. I feel so bad because his goal to game ratio last year, phenomenal. He's done nothing wrong in this team, but Pulisic is just a bit too good. We're leading by 2 now. We totally turned the game on its head. And right before the break, Edouard Mendy, new captain for this season in the first 11 after Kante's drop to the bench, makes a great save, keeps us still leading by 2. Second half, not really much to report. There was 4 goals in the first half, and it seemed like there'd be none in the second. Really uneventful second half, really though. Hongla would make it 3-2 and get the Blades back in it, and a glimmer of hope with 10 minutes to go. Fortunately, as you'll see, it proved to be nothing other than a consolation goal, gifting them the chance there, throwing out with Mendy, but in the end, it did not matter. We held on for the win, final score on the opening day. They make us work for these wins, Sheffield United, don't they? We got it again, 3-2 victory over the Blades. And a game where, I mentioned these games before, like, there's not actually that many, like, action-packed chances, but it's the chances that are in the game are just at such a high quality. You know, one of those games where like every single chance has the opportunity to result in a goal. There's no half-hearted efforts. There's no, you know, sloppy build-ups. You know, it's really good football for the most part. And the 5-goal thriller is won by Chelsea. So a win on the opening day. It was tough, but we managed to get through it. Still following the win, as you could see, starting our title defence off with a victory at Bramall Lane here. Harvey Vale is going out on loan to West Ham. I love it when the game glitches with these negotiations here. Lights go off here in my office as me and David Moyes are sitting there wondering what's going on and whose job it is to call the electrician. But Harvey Vale is off on loan to West Ham, and I'm really pleased with that as well, because you would have seen we had bids from Frankfurt and Lyon and Hertha Berlin, and they're not what you call unrealistic destinations, but it's more likely he'd stay in England. He had a loan spell with, who did he go out on loan to last year? Newcastle United. And he's going to stay in England and now take a minor step up and get loaned out to West Ham. So we'll keep an eye on him there at the London Stadium, and Vale's loan deal is completed. We had 2 offers then for Kante, one from Fiorentina, but still our club captain, so going nowhere. And also Trevor Chalobah wanted by Sevilla. We've loaned Busquets to Sevilla, but Chalobah's staying here. I really like him as a 4th choice centre-half. He started the FA Cup final last year. He's really solid and dependable as a backup centre-half. In this team, he'll never be a starter or a regular starter when he's got Tomori and now Bastoni and also Ben Godfrey to compete with as well. But as a 4th choice centre-half, I couldn't ask for anyone better really, sat on the bench and playing the occasional cup or midweek game as well. So for the second and final game of today's episode, on the back of the win on the opening day at Bramall Lane, returning back Stamford Bridge. I thought last year I wouldn't see this ground again as a home manager after the board were, let's be honest here, way too critical of my performance after winning domestic double, but they gave me a 1-year extension as Chelsea manager. I stayed on my first game of the season at the Bridge, and it couldn't have got to a worse start. 12 minutes in, brace against the Blades. Phenomenal last season. No. Christian Pulisic, so good. Forced off through injury, bravely goes up for an aerial duel, wins it, gets a header on target. Lloris with the save, but Pulisic forced off on the stretcher. And worrying signs already just 2 games in. Big part of our attacking front 3, and now Pulisic replaced as Hudson-Odoi comes on. 7 minutes for the break in a pretty uneventful first half. Other than the injury, no real chance to report. Great save by Lloris, keeps Martinez from scoring his 2nd goal as a Chelsea player, but still tied at 0-0. Spurs hadn't really attacked in this game at all, and last season we faced them twice and didn't beat them either time. We lost away in North London and we drew at the Bridge. And 53 minutes in, goodness gracious me, Lautaro Martinez, well, he scored against Sheffield United, don't get me wrong, goal on his debut, nice to see it, but missed another sitter. That's his 3rd one-on-one he's missed already, and I was sitting there thinking, Tammy's on the bench with a wry smile on his face, saying, I wouldn't miss those, Gaffer. We're still tied at 0-0, and Martinez has missed a couple of great chances. Fortunately, when you need to get bailed out, you can always depend on the old reliable. Callum Hudson-Odoi off the bench, so good last season in sporadic game time, off the bench for Pulisic, storms down the left, rolls it across, and who's there popping up inside the area? Well, I told you, he might be sitting a little bit deeper now, but he'll still get forward like Frank Lampard. Mason Mount drills in the goal to put us in front. We finally have the lead. There were 2 minutes to go. Oh, thank God. 3rd time's the charm for Lautaro Martinez. Missed 2 one-on-ones in the game, but there's his 2nd goal as a Chelsea striker. Celebrating in front of the Spurs fans. He's already loved by Chelsea supporters, no doubt about that, for doing that sort of stuff. But Lautaro Martinez wraps the game up with the dagger. 3rd time's the charm. It seems like he's going to be one of those sort of strikers who he'll miss some easy chances and score a few more as well. Lautaro with the dagger. 2-0 Chelsea, our 1st clean sheet of the season, our 1st win at the Bridge this year as well. and a perfect start for the Blues. Back-to-back victories, our first clean sheet picked up already. Martinez off to a great start with 2 goals in 2, though to be honest here, he could already have 4 or 5 goals really, but yep, 2 in 2 for Lautaro Martinez, 2 in 2 for Chelsea. The only question is, how bad is that injury for Christian Pulisic? Our only concern to start the season off as we defend that domestic double. We'll find out in the very next episode how badly Captain America is injured. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Career Mode, guys. Big thank you for watching. Really hope you have enjoyed. If you have, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day and don't miss the next episode. Big signings coming on transfer deadline day as we fill out the squad, plus the draw for the Champions League group. My first ever of the save. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for next episode. Don't miss it very soon.